everyone, you're watching American Wire. This woke student tries to school Michael Knowles on abortion. Check it out.
You keep defining abortion as the murder of babies, which biological fact is you would say most abortions are done before they are actually babies. It's still just a fetus. So
Do you know what the word fetus means?
It's just a cluster, a
That's
zygote
not what
developing
fetus
into
means.
a baby eventually.
The word fetus, it's a Latin word, and it just means offspring. That's all it means. It just means the next generation of a being. So, but that's what a baby is also. I mean, that's what you would call your adult child someday once he's grown, hopefully, if he hasn't been murdered.
Can I ask my question?
Well, I'm just like to clarify this point. You would call your adult child your offspring too, but all of these terms that you might use, fetus, embryo, the one they love is zygote, which sounds like a Pokemon, but they use all these different terms, but it's all referring to the same being, and you were that being once. You, the person who's standing here right now.
Do any of us have a memory of being that being?
Oh, I mean, I don't have a memory of last Thursday, frankly. It's been a very busy week, but the lack of a memory doesn't mean that it's all right to murder me.
Well, anyways, my question is, you stress murdering babies a lot, but when it comes to murdering babies, kids, and everything in everyday shootings that keep happening, you say nothing. So I ask, why is it okay to murder babies when it's regulating women but not regulating guns?
No, I say quite a lot about that, actually. I think the crime is a terrible problem, and I think it's just awful that liberals have funded and intentionally installed liberal DAs who won't prosecute violent criminals. This has led to an increase in violent crime, and it's awful. I totally oppose that. But it's not me, and it's not my side that's funding that sort of thing. Now, you say, why wouldn't I want to regulate guns? Guns are very regulated in the United States as it is. And I've yet to hear one gun control proposal that would stop any of these shooting incidents that people talk about. People focus on the sensationalized ones from the news, a school shooting or a movie theater shooting. No proposed gun control legislation of the last 30 years would have stopped any of those. And the majority of the shootings are gang-related, and they're handgun shootings. And so I'm all for cracking down on those gangs and throwing them all in the can, but it's usually the liberals telling me that we have to abolish the police and go soft on crime.
By saying you're murdering babies, blah, 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 just over and over again, but just not mentioning any of the babies being murdered every single day in shootings that haven't even made it to major news outlets because they're so common.
No, well, that wouldn't be a contradiction or a hypocrisy or anything. I'm focusing on one particular issue called abortion, but I actually mentioned in the speech tonight that specifically on the issue of black people being murdered, 10,000 black people are murdered every year with guns and knives and hammers and the like, but 242,000 black people at the very least are murdered through abortion. So that would seem to be a more pressing issue, but I brought it up. I'm all for trying to reduce the murder rate. Unfortunately, liberal DAs are not allowing us to do that.
So this student, the way she phrased her question about trying to suggest or claiming that Michael Knowles is, I guess, two-sided in the sense that he is in support of abortion, not pro-life. He is pro-life, so does not want to have abortions. But he's not advocating and he's not talking as strongly about gun control. That's basically was the consensus of her questioning to him. And the thing that was coming to mind is this. Democrats want to continue to drive their narrative of what the problem is, but they never wanted to go to the source of where the problem is that's making things go wrong. So, for instance, gun control. Michael Knowles is trying to tell her that, there are laws in place for guns, but nothing's going to stop the gang members that are out there and the illegal way of getting guns. Nothing is in place to stop that. The one thing that is in place to stop that, Michael Knowles is trying to say, is arresting these people who are getting these guns illegally and doing these heinous crimes, and putting them in jail and keeping them in jail. And he's trying to explain to her that there are systems in place that Democrats are not making sure are enforced. So there's Democratic DAs in place that are not even holding these criminals in jail, and they're going out and they're doing the same crimes over and over again. So his point is, if you want to really do something about gun control, because that's where the conversation in this video kind of went, you have to enforce the laws in place, and you have to make sure you have DAs in place that are enforcing the laws to keep these criminals behind the bars. But Democrats are just focusing, and our young children are being taught to just say the simple things that she was saying, and not even open her mind to the suggestion of what Michael Knowles was trying to share with her on another way of looking at this problem that she was bringing up.